It don't mean a thing, all you gotta do is sing. Do I, do I, do I, do I, do I, do I, do I.
All right, everybody, welcome. Willkommen, bienvenidos, bienvenue, caribou. Wherever you are in the world, welcome to Hermlinville. We are here again for another session of this week's Hermlinville Swingtown Calling. Again, welcome. You had a choice. You could have done anything you wanted with your time, and you've chosen to spend it with me. I really appreciate it. That is the highest compliment that I can receive, is your approval and your time. We've got a lot of things have changed. So I guess the first thing we should talk about is the new schedule. The program has been doing really, really well in the swing charts on the Mixcloud app, and but one of the challenges has been to fit all of the stuff that I want to do with you guys, all the things I want to share, the music I want to play, the interviews, and the Swing Academy into one show. I mean, the show is supposed to be 2 hours, and I've never been able to bring the show in under 2 hours. The closest I got one time was 2 hours and 27 minutes, and I even felt that show, like I cut it too short. The average show's been about 3 hours and 20 minutes. It's too long. That's a lot to ask of everybody to spend such a large block of time. So I had a meeting with the powers that be down at the radio station, and one of the things that we're going to implement right away is we're going to cut the show into two halves. So there's going to be my Hermlinville Swingtown Calling Show, which is going to feature the story of the Swingin' Hermlins, and we'll get into that if you're not familiar with who they are. We'll get into that in a minute. But also, the music, the interviews, all the things that I was doing for the first, 75% of the show. So Hermlinville Swingtown Calling will just be the focus on the Swingin' Hermlins and the music and their story. And we're going to do that 90 minutes every week. So Sundays, 8 p.m. Berlin, 90 minutes, not a second over, promise. 90 minutes every Sunday evening, 8 p.m. Berlin, Hermlinville Swingtown Calling. Now, for my American friends, 8 p.m. Berlin isn't necessarily a convenient time to listen. So it is available for you to listen, my American friends, at 8 p.m. Berlin, which is, on the west coast of, California. You're talking 11 a.m. And then, no. You're talking, 11 a.m. And then, it would be 2 p.m. in the afternoon on the East Coast in New York. But because the program's been doing so well, the radio station has given me another time slot. So we're going to also rebroadcast Hermlinville Swingtown Calling 9 p.m. Thursday evening New York time. So, this will be a more convenient time in the evenings maybe to listen to my broadcast. I'm really excited about this because this gives my show 2 time slots instead of just one. I'm able to reach a broader audience because the time zones are a little bit more flexible, even my German friends, if you like the show on Sunday evening and you want to catch the rebroadcast, I guess you could. I mean, if you're a night owl or you can't sleep, you can always switch my program on Thursday. Well, I guess that would be Friday mornings for my friends in Berlin and Germany.
Jump and jive, make big jive on the other side. Hey, hey. Oh, the 15th and jump and jive, make you go when you walk by. Hey, hey. Oh, don't you think that if you get hit, come on and about through, then you'll get inside your food. You make a jive like it's good. Jump and jive, and you like on the Jersey side. Hey, hey. Zim, zim, jump and jive, make you happy from the mellow side. Then you get your started through. Maybe the little gators do.
That's not all. There's more change. The other half of my show, or the other 25-30% of my show I was doing, is something called the Swing Academy, which is this focused look at a particular artist or a subject in, jazz, swing. It was like music, like a music class a little bit, a music appreciation class, but we really focused in on some one of the major characters of the music genre, and I really liked doing that. I'm a teacher by nature. I love to teach. I love history. I studied history in university. So the Swing Academy kind of combined my two passions with my passion for music. So that was one of the reasons why the show was going so long. So we're not getting rid, if you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, they're getting rid of the Swing Academy, and that's the part of the show I liked. No, we're not getting rid of the Swing Academy. The radio station has then given me 2 more time slots in the week where I will just be doing a broadcast called the Swing Academy. The Swing Academy will air for my American audience, it will air Sunday evenings at 9 p.m. So that would be 3 a.m. Berlin or 6 p.m. On the West Coast. And then I will rebroadcast Swing Academy for my German audience on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Berlin time. So the effect is that Swing Academy and Hermanville Swingtown Calling will be broadcast and rebroadcast both on the same day. We're talking Sunday and we're talking Thursday, and they will be alternating the time zones between the American and the German audiences. So I hope that makes sense. There's a schedule posted on the radio station's website. You can visit the website. You can go to www.jsmradio.com. There are it's a program schedule which highlights my shows, times, days, all of that.
Okay, what's the tempo? Oh.
Little birdie on the tree, I'm as sad as that can be. Want my mommy, but gonna she? I'm a sad, sad sucker, am I? Little birdie on the tree, mommy coming with a bumblebee on a limb, my baby for me. I'm a sad, sad sucker, am I? Sad, sad, sad sucker, and I like that jive. I can't have no woman mess around with my heart. Little birdie on the tree, quick, mommy, I'm the kind, I don't mind. I'm a sad, sad sucker, and I. Sad, I like a jive, and I can't have no woman mess around with my eye. Oh, little Betty on the tree, oh, mommy, down to me. I'm the kind I don't mind. I'm the sad, 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 and
also find an archive of my past shows. I've done, this is my 7th show, and there will be, there's an archive of the 6 previous shows, which would be the combination of Hermanville and the Swing Academy together. They're, it's an interesting archive already. But also at the JSM website, you can find the archive of previous shows, and you could get caught up. I'm really excited about these. This is more broadcasting time altogether. It's spread out over a couple days in different time slots. So I really feel that I'm able to reach a much broader audience. If you have comments about the show, you can also reach me at my email address at the radio station. My email address is my name, james.udall. It's spelled U-D-A-L-L, james.udall at jsmradio.com. You can send me an email about anything you like. You can request a song that you want to hear. You can ask a question about the Swing and Hermlands. If you want to know what their outdoor performance schedule is going forward, I can get that information to you, so you can, if you're going to be in Berlin, you could check them out, out in the streets or out at an open theater venue. You can tell me, give me ideas for the show, ideas for Swing Academy. You can tell me how much you love the show. I really would like positive feedback. Or you can tell me how much you dislike the show and that, I should, change it 100%. So anything is fair game. I don't have a thin skin. You can, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you've got constructive criticism.
Here comes the purple.
Obviously. When the deep purple falls over sleeping garden walls, and the stars begin to flicker in the sky, through the mist of your leathery
The funny thing, 7 weeks ago, this is show number 7. 7 weeks ago, I had never even been on the radio before. I'm not a professional broadcaster. I'm a rank amateur. I do not have a music degree. I am not trying to portray myself as an expert in the swing or jazz music genre. I am not a music historian, even though I studied history in university. That wasn't the focus of my study. I am a rank amateur who just loves the music, and I think that the show's getting better week by week. It's just amazing, the idea of getting comfortable hearing your own voice. The first time I heard my own voice played back to me in connection with this radio show, it was quite shocking. I had heard my voice recorded before, of course, but just in little snippets or, home video, something like that. But nothing so concentrated where you focus on every syllable and every grunt and stammer that you make. It's really quite disconcerting. So if anybody has any criticisms of me, I'd really like to hear them so that I can get better. I am learning every week. I'm trying to get better every week. I'm trying to bring the quality of the show up every week. And I hope that, those of you who've been following me week after week agree that is, in fact, what's been going on. So with that, again, that's a long welcome, a hello. I really, really like the fact that many of you have come week after week after week.
I'm sitting on top of the world. Al Jolson. Yeah. Rides again.
I'm sitting on top of the world. I'm rolling along, just rolling along. I'm quitting the blues of the world. I'm singing a song, just singing a song. Glory, hallelujah, just call the parson. They park and ready to call. I'm like Humpty Dumpty. I'm going to fall. I'm sitting on top of the world. Oh, I'm rolling along. Ooh, just rolling along. Don't want any millions. I'm getting my share. Only got one suit is all I can wear. Not a bottle of money can make you feel gay, but a sweet little honey is making me say I'm sitting on top of the world. I'm rolling along, just rolling along. I'm quitting the blues of the world. I'm singing a song, just singing a song. Glory, hallelujah, I got the buzzer. Hey, Pa, I'm ready to call. I'm like Humpty Dumpty. I'm going to fall. I'm sitting on top of the world. I'm rolling along, just rolling along. Number one.
Al Jolson at its best. Du klingst ja schon fast ein bisschen wie Al Jolson.
Ja, ich habe das mit Absicht gemacht.
Hast du mit Absicht gemacht?
Ja.
Ah. Du
Am
klingst,
Ende nicht noch so machen.
du klingst mehr nach Al Jolson als Al Jolson selbst.
Ja.
Ja.
Hat er mir auch gesagt.
Ich weiß, ja. Hat er angerufen heute wieder?
Ja, ja.
Al Jolson would love David, and David loves Al Jolson. He was a great artist. before, but as always, we are trying to add new songs. And we did so over the last 184 days. And our repertoire is growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing beyond belief. Ja, in den letzten 184 Tagen haben wir so viele neue Songs gespielt. Fast jeden Abend mindestens einen neuen Song, manchmal sogar 2 oder 3. Oder am Freitag 5. Max Brugger, wir reden noch. Heute ist auch ein neuer Song. Ja, ein neuer Song, den David ins Gespräch gebracht, zusammen mit Malte, der die ganze Zeit da stimmt und mich wahnsinnig macht.
Ja. Malte! Ja. Stimmt dein Bass!
Jetzt ist er fertig.
This is actually the favorite song of my dear friend Sasha Koma.
Oh!
And he always sings it when he asks like, who wants to play with me? And then he goes, in the middle of a kiss. It's always the first song he wants to play. So now I sing it.
Scary.
Yeah. So. In the middle. Yeah, come on. Again, please. Please. In the middle of a kiss, suddenly it dawned on me. In the middle of a kiss, I knew you were mine. In the middle of a sweet embrace, the first reason remember how surprised we were to find that we really meant it. In the middle of a song, we stumbled in paradise in the twinkle of an eye. On the midnight we comprehended our dream of love would end, just how it began. In the middle of a kiss.
Taking this journey with me, and that's really what this is. This is a journey based in a passion for music and really a passion for a story that's been happening in the swing genre for the past almost 180 days. It's coming up on 6 months. And if you're new to the show, you might be wondering or asking yourself, well, what is the story? The story is of a band, a Berlin-based band, playing out of, I said Berlin, a Berlin-based band, a swing band called the Swingin' Hermlins. And, the story is related to COVID, this whole thing that's been going on. Have you heard of it yet? Do you guys know what I'm talking about, COVID? I hope so. But, ultimately, the COVID virus and the subsequent shutdowns of clubs, taverns, indoor music venues, concert halls, arenas, all of these things where performers where they would be able to make their living. You know, they were shut down around about the 14th of March of, you know, this year. And it's thrown most performers and musicians, actors, actresses, and not only that, the support teams behind them, the electricians, the sound engineers, the ticket booth operators, the ushers, all of these people, roadies, all of these people who would support concerts or live shows or plays, musicals, what have you, it's all been shut down. And so on March the 15th, this swing band, the Swing and Hermlins, you know, and their band leader in particular, Andre Hermlin, decided that, hey, we're not going to let COVID beat us. And Andre, he shared with me a quote that he made on the 15th or 14th of March, and that, you know, he's really big in the swing genre, and he said, you know, swing's not going to die on my watch. And that was a really striking statement, because, you know, it's not just, well, he said something and then, you know, people say things all the time that maybe they have good intentions, but they don't follow through, right? Or they don't mean it all, and it was just a lie. In this case, he took to social media. Instead of, you know, performing in large concert halls and venues where, you know, he would pack in 1,000 or 1,500, 2,000 people, spectators, he designed a 30-minute nightly swing session where he and his family, it's a family-based show, and his friends who are in his band, his friends and family get together. They're known as the Swing and Hermlins, and they get together 7 p.m. Berlin time, and they broadcast live on Facebook and on Instagram. And they've been doing this every night since March the 15th. And this was a direct response to the COVID virus shutdown that affected his family, his band. He wasn't going to take it lying down. He wasn't going to just get depressed and, you know, do nothing. He mourned the loss of what his performance life was before COVID, and then immediately just went into this second act, which has been amazing to watch.
Congratulations to David and Rachel.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it's, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Some of you might be saying, well, big deal, 30 minutes live, on social media. Lots of people go live. Yeah, they do. A lot of people are performing live on social media, but not like this. This is a highly polished, well-staged, rehearsed, flawless presentation. The band is dressed impeccably in 1930s period clothing. They perform in the living room of the Hermlin's house, and the living room is staged and decorated in a 1920s, 1930s style. There is nothing in the camera frame that would give you any indication that it is 2020.
Let's give her see the
off with a song called Bei mir bist du schön.
Oh, have I missed this song?
C-Moll? C-Moll?
Bei mir bist du schön, please let me explain. Bei mir bist du schön, ich stay your friend. Bei mir bist du schön, I cannot explain.
cry. Even if we die, we're gonna do it one more time.
Wonderful community of Hermanville is keeping us going in these very difficult times. And looking back half a year, we just understand now what we have gotten because of what you are to us. Wir haben in diesem halben Jahr so viel erlebt. Damals am Anfang gab es ja noch kein Hermanville. Jetzt aber gibt es Hermanville und jetzt erst merken wir, dass wir das überhaupt nicht mehr ohne euch aushalten könnten. Das heißt, diese Gemeinschaft, die sich da gegründet hat, die von Peru nach China und von Amerika nach Kenia oder Israel reicht, das ist etwas, was uns verbinden würde und ich denke, für alle Zeit. Und wir an diesem Abend, der besonders für uns ist, an diesem Abend wird uns überhaupt erst klar, was wir hinzugewonnen haben durch euch. Und vielleicht habt ihr auch was hinzugewonnen durch uns, durch die Swinging Hamlets. Hoffentlich. Yeah, here's the song. Here's the song that we played that very night on March 15, our closing number. Actually, not the closing number, but the last song we played. I found a new baby.
So Andre and the band, they perform nightly. If you're wanting to know how you can see them, it's really, really easy. Go to the Facebook page of Andre Hermlin, and I'll spell you his name because his first name he spells a little bit differently. Andre, Andrej, Hermlin, Hermlin. So Andre Hermlin, go to his Facebook page or find the Instagram page of Andre Hermlin, and sometimes his son, David Hermlin, also a member of the band, broadcast live from Instagram. They're also coming out on YouTube. They've just gotten approval to live stream on YouTube, so there will be a third venue coming up. I'm really excited about that. But go to their page, 7 p.m. Berlin. You'll be in for a treat. If you do decide to check it out, I invite you to turn on, there's a chat function you'll find. And once you turn the chat function on, it will reveal a stream of live chat that's happening among, generally every night there's a group of about 60 to 80 people who are watching the performance in live, in real time. But they're not just watching, some of these people have become friends of mine, other people have made other friendships. We talk to each other, we ask each other about each other's lives, how things are going. I mean, it's really like going to a concert where your friends have shown up, and the group is very welcoming. It's a very international group of people. There are people represented from so many different countries, from different corners of the globe, South America, North America, Europe, Africa, the Middle East, all over. It's amazing. So you could check out the Swingin' Hermlins there.
You should call me the Majesty. Song of today. His Majesty. Must you then ride so close with the same fortunate man? You have danced with him since the music began. Won't you change partners and dance with me? Oh, must you dance quite so close with your lips touching his face? Can't you see I'm longing to be in his place? Oh, won't you change partners and dance with me? Ask him to set this one out while you're alone. I'll tell the waiter to tell him he's wanted on the telephone. Oh, you've been lost in his arms ever since heaven knows when. Won't you change partners and then you may never want to change partners again. Him to set this one out while you're alone. I I'll tell the widow that he saw when he needed on the telephone. With their loves in his arms ever since. Heaven knows when. Want to change partners is that you may never want to change partners again.
Let's talk about just real quickly supporting the band. You know, the band, they have rent to pay, they need to eat, they have to put gas in the car. They have everyday living expenses just like you and I. And one thing that we could do to support the band is you could, Andre does have a PayPal account, which if you went to the live show, there's a way to tip the band during the live show through his PayPal. But another way to support the band, and the one that I prefer, is you can go and buy their digital album. Early on in the pandemic, they recorded a digital album called The Music Goes Round and Round, and it is available on the website Bandcamp. So go to bandcamp.com, search either the Swingin' Hermlins or search the title of the digital album, The Music Goes Round and Round. You can buy the digital album. It's €18. You get it immediately. You can then play it on your device however long or however much you like, and it's really something really positive on both ends. So I encourage you to pick up the digital album. There'll be other albums forthcoming. Andre has promised us information on when those release dates of an upcoming album. I understand maybe October, November, and that there will also be a Christmas album coming out. So that's how you can watch the band. That's how you can support the band.
Sun shining right above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore trees. Dream a little dream of me. Say nighty night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me you miss me. While I'm alone and blue as can be, dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear, still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear, just like this. Sweet dreams to sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams will leave our worries behind you. Sweet dreams will whatever they be. Dream a little dream of me.
let's talk about what we've got going on this show. I've got an exclusive one-on-one interview with the band leader, Andre Hermlin. He talks about a demonstration that occurred in Berlin just this past Wednesday, the 9th of September, where about 15,000 musicians, artists, actors, actresses, backstage workers, and even ancillary support personnel of live performances took to the streets to bring awareness that, hey, we're still here, we still are not working, what can we do about it? I mean, it was a very peaceful, non-violent protest, but it wasn't really to protest anything, it was really just to demonstrate and bring awareness that there's this problem. And the problem is that the priority of getting live performance venues open, concerts, musicals, ballet, opera, whatever, even live music in tavern, this has proven to be very low on the list of priorities with local government, not just in Germany, across the globe. Musicians literally have not been working for 6 months. Many of them are living hand to mouth, starving. It's a really sad state of affairs because governments are spending, huge sums of money to keep critical industries open. The automobile industries, the travel, the airlines, all of these major industries, but the entertainment industry, the live entertainment or arts, live performing arts, has kind of been forgotten, or maybe not forgotten, it's just not being treated as the big priority that it should be. It's ironic to me that at the time when we need music and live performance to uplift us and to give us positivity and to help us get through these tough times, we need these things, these music and acting and performance. We need these things. This is not a luxury, especially in bad times. So the irony is that during these tough times, the thing that we need the most, or one of the things that we need the most, is nowhere to be found. Look around. Have there been any large concerts in your hometown? Any big bands coming around? How about all those summer concert tours? No? You didn't see any? Well, neither did we here in Germany, because they don't happen. They're not happening. These are low priority events, and it's sad. So, anyway, Andre spends about 15 or 20 minutes with us talking about his perspective on the demonstration that occurred in Berlin. I'm sure it's not the last demonstration that we'll see there. I'm sure it's not the last demonstration that we'll see. There'll be others probably throughout the world. Musicians throughout the world, actors. I say musicians because I'm really focused on music, but live performers all over the world are in this predicament. And, what do you do? What do you do when you've trained your whole life to be, let's say, a concert pianist, and you are at the top of your game, and you are, and then your work's taken away. You can't perform. What can you do? I mean, in the Hermlin's case, this is one reason I love the story. I mean, they were dealt a big blow by COVID, and yet they got right back up and swung right back. I mean, the Hermlins are counter punchers in the typical, in the classical sense. I mean, they got hit and they hit right back. But, not everybody's like that. And these demonstrations in Berlin really show how the performers are hurting. So, what can you do? You guys are saying, well, what can we do about it? Well, you can write letters, you can send emails to your elected officials, and you can tell them that you're aware that, live performers are suffering in your communities and in your country, and that they need help, and that they shouldn't be forgotten. That's my point anyways. They shouldn't be forgotten. If we can at least keep them going through some type of government support until a vaccine arrives. Well, that would be a step, positive step, a step in the right direction. And if some of you might be thinking, well, James, I keep hearing about a vaccine and this COVID thing is like over or it's about to be over. It's not true. There are vaccines coming. My understanding is that the vaccine will not be available until the end of 2020 or the beginning of 2021. And I just recently saw an interview with Dr. Anthony Fauci yesterday. And he was talking about that even though there will be a vaccine by, let's say, early 2021, that after they ramp up production and then start distributing it and people start taking it, and then the herd immunity builds up. And this might be a two-step immunization as well. It might be you've got to take 2 shots. I mean, there's a lot of variables unknown, but the point is, according to Dr. Fauci, the soonest that he could see where society gets to a herd immunity level, maybe 60-70% immunity, would be the fall or maybe early winter of 2021. So about a year from now at the soonest. And that may be the time when governments finally say, okay, we're going to open up the concert venues. Think about that this industry, live performances were the first to get shut down, and they're going to be the last to get reopened. And it's based on an immunization that hasn't been released, hasn't been approved, hasn't been distributed. So, live performers, there's a long way to go. And I hope by bringing awareness through a show like mine, following the story of the Hermlins, but also, bringing awareness to the plight of other live performers, that that we can do something. We can lobby our state, local, and federal governments to do something for performers, because it's not just like supporting the performers now so that they can survive. That is true, but also think about we get to the point of herd immunity in 2021 in the fall or winter of next year. What's going to be left? Is the opera house that you like to go to going to be open? Is the concert hall going to be open? Is the local bar or tavern that you like to go see live performance, you like to go see music once a week or once a month, is that going to be around? That is a big question mark, in my opinion. What will remain of the live performance culture or industry? It can't just all be that we have music, but it's now all recorded. I mean, there must still be a way to save live performances. So, I don't know. I'm not a politician. I don't have all of the answers. I just know that we need to bring awareness. We need to support these people however way we can. Okay, everybody, this is James with JSMRadio.com, and we have the privilege of speaking with bandleader Andre Hermlin. And we've spoken with Andre before, but today we wanted to focus mainly on the demonstrations that occurred in Berlin yesterday, the 9th of September, the so-called Alarmstufe Rot demo. Andre, you were there. I saw some video on Facebook. Tell me about your experience at the demonstration.
Well, I went there basically, and I went there with my whole family and also another member of the Swinging Hermlins, Malte Tönnissen. Mm-hmm. Yes, I went there in order to show solidarity with people who are working in the entertainment industry, with artists, actors, and musicians. And we have been, I think, about 15,000 people yesterday at the Brandenburg Gate, which is quite a number. However, in compared to the other demonstrations we have seen in Berlin over the last weeks with some 50 to 100,000 attendance, I think this demonstration was much smaller, and you see that the thing is this: I went there to show solidarity. However, I do not really believe in demonstrations because the problem we are facing is simply too big to be solved by one government. We have a situation in which the tourism industry is badly affected, the restaurants, the hotels, the fairs, the theaters, the opera houses, the bands, clubs. There are so many people affected. There's simply not enough money in the world to save the situation.
Right.
To be honest.
Well, then what was
the question?
What was the object?
The question is.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm saying the question is, what could be done? What is a realistic approach to the situation we have? And I know it might sound terrible to say this, but we have just to accept that many players will not survive this crisis. They won't survive.
I understand.
And we are talking about the problem of maybe some 100,000 or maybe 1.5 million people affected by the crisis in the entertainment industry in Germany. But we are talking about 150 million people in the tourism sector who, according to some estimates by the United Nations, will lose their jobs worldwide in the course of this crisis. So it is just too big to handle, and it's good to speak out, it's good to be heard, but the next step is to discuss what could be really done to save the situation, and this is where the problem starts.
Right. Well, and that's in fact one of the questions I wrote down to ask you, like what can be done or what should be done, and more to the point, what was the object? What was the purpose of the demonstration? You were there for solidarity, but there were people from all kinds of entertainment. I saw circus performers, I saw musicians, I saw actors, I saw support personnel for concerts and performance. What was the object? What were they looking to do? What could you put it in a nutshell? What they wanted, if they could get anything?
I mean, James, I'm not the one who organized this demonstration. So, if you would like to know the exact object of this demonstration, you should speak to the organizers of this demonstration. From my point of view, there is some kind of confusion. People are demanding help from the government. But what kind of help are we talking about? I mean, look, a hotel that is not booked is not booked, and whether or not the government is giving them some 100,000 euros or not won't make a big difference if we talk about a year or two. If we talk about the theater, that cannot be attended by more than 20 or 25% of the usual numbers of guests. Mm-hmm. And relatives, it can't run profitably. This is impossible.
Right.
And so what are we talking about? Are we talking about financial support to every employee, every freelance musician, every freelance artist? So if we just imagine the numbers we're talking about, if we say there are 1.5 million people involved in just this particular sector of the business industry, the industry in Germany, 1.5 million. And we talk about let's say 2,000 euros per person. That would be already 3 billion euros per month that must be given by the government to support these people. And it will be we're just talking about single out persons. We're not talking about companies. We're not talking about theaters. We're not talking about agencies who have to pay maybe rents or loans and interest and so on. So this is where I'm doubting this demonstration in a way where I feel like it is a way to speak out, to say, hey, we are here and we are suffering.
Yes.
But the next step is what is the aim? What is the end game? What is the idea of all this?
Right.
So talking to the government is good, but I'm talking to the government. I know people in the government. They're all saying the same. We don't have money. At least not enough to save the situation. We're trying here. I mean, Berlin is much better off than other cities because we have Klaus Lederer in the city, who is the Senator for Kultur. I mean, he's in charge for the cultural life in Berlin. And he's trying everything. He's working himself out to save as much as he can. However, he doesn't have the funds to save all the theaters, all the small dance groups, all the choirs, all these, clubs which have been closed down in March. What are you going to tell the clubs? Yeah. And all those people who are working there? What are you going to tell them?
I understand.
As long as the coronavirus is there, and as long as these regulations are in place, how can you run a big concert? How can you run the Astra in Berlin? How can you run a club like the Bar 1000? It's impossible. It's simply impossible. And to lift all these restrictions, obviously, we're not ready for this. The government is not ready for this. And even if they would do so, the question is, would the people come? Would they ignore the risk? And would they buy the tickets, knowing that they might lose their jobs in the course of this crisis? So this is something which is only comparable with 1914, 1933, or 1939. This is a major crisis, one of the biggest crises in the modern civilization of the last 150 years. And as soon as we accept the impact of all this, the better we have a chance to survive it emotionally.
Yeah, but these come with such tough decisions. I mean, if you took a circus performer, I watched one circus performer. This was a woman. She was walking on stilts in a costume. It was very entertaining, but at the same time, what does somebody who's trained their life to walk on stilts and be a circus performer, what can they do in the corona world for work? I mean, what can they do? It's just very difficult. These are very difficult choices, right?
What were the musicians and artists doing in the United States of America in 1932? They were lining up at the soup kitchens.
Right. Yep.
So we have, you see, James, the problem is this. I could tell you a lot of nice things, like, this was a nice demonstration, and we stood together in solidarity, and we raised our voices. Yes, of course we did. But this is ignoring the reality. The reality is that we are facing one of the biggest crises the modern humanity has seen. And this is a worldwide crisis. I mean, we are talking here about some entertainment industries in Germany, France, or the United States. But what about people living in Colombia or in Kenya or in Malaysia? They have not even this. They have nothing. They are suffering. Not only suffering, they are starving. They are starving to death.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, we need to understand the magnitude of all this problem. So if you ask me what should artists do, of course they can try to survive just the way we are doing it.
Right.
Go onto the streets, try to perform in the streets, try to find new ways to reach your audience. But waiting for some donations from the government, I do not think that this is really helpful.
Right.
There won't be much money that can be distributed to the musicians and artists. I understand the demands, and of course, if this would be a wishing well, I would also say yes. Of course, we should have some billions given to the musicians and the agencies and artists and theaters. But I doubt that this is going to happen.
No.
So we need to look for new ways. I'm now, I was playing, as you notice, I was playing in the biggest concert halls in the world, and now I'm playing in the streets, and I'm okay.
Right.
I'm not feeling depressed. I'm not feeling, in a way, marginalized or humiliated. However, it's a change, and I have to embrace this new situation. And I understand that many people can't do what I'm doing, but frankly speaking, for most artists, this is the future. Either to play in the streets or to depend on social welfare. The situation we had over the last 10, 20 years won't come back anytime soon.
I understand. I understand. Just a couple more questions. Do you think, is it your opinion that most of the performers who are out of work, that they are receiving some form of government welfare at this point? Are they getting something? Do they get some help, like HeartSphere, or like help with?
You see, the process of applying for HeartSphere is many people feel it quite humiliating. Mm-hmm. A lot of questions to be answered, a lot of documents to be shown. You have kind of stripped naked to get this money.
Right.
And there are, of course, many people who feel that they can't do this, and I understand this. So I never went through this process. So I don't know how I would take it if I would be forced to do it. I'm a person who accepts realities. I cannot deny realities. I was always like that. So if something is there, I have to take it the way it is. I cannot say, "Oh, I don't want." No. I don't want to see it. I don't want to do it. If the situation is that way, then I have to accept it.
Yeah.
So when I got arrested in Kenya, I was put in jail. I had to accept I'm in jail now. So in this situation in jail, there are terrible toilets, terrible food, and uncertainty about whether or not I will get out of it. It was a very challenging situation.
Right.
And now we have another challenge.
Right.
So, and people, I think that some people have applied for house sphere, some people are trying to live on donation, some people are trying to, some artists, of course, they have maybe a partner, like a husband or a wife, who can support them in a way. Every situation is different from the other one. I mean, there's no situation where you can say that we're all in the same boat. We're in different situations, you know.
Right.
But there are many artists who have maybe a wife or a husband who is a teacher or a policeman or a firefighter and not affected in the way maybe a single-out musician is affected. I mean, if the musician is a single, he's not, or a singer who has no boyfriend or husband who can help her, she's, of course, in a much graver situation than maybe others.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Do you think that live performances, musicians, music, all of these things, the arts, do you think that many people in society and many people in government, do you think that they view these things as luxuries, and in a time of crisis they aren't so important? And I don't think that you think they're not important, but do you think that there's a general feeling that, well, these are luxuries and we can do without them in a time of crisis like war or depression or the coronavirus? What's your opinion about that?
Well, first of all, let me mention that yesterday on the way to the Brandenburg Gate, I met a high-rank politician from a political party near the Reichstag. I know him very well. We are friends.
Yeah.
And he was looking at me and saying, "What is this?" And I said, "Yeah, well, it's a demonstration of the entertainment industry and the artists," but he didn't even know about it.
Uh-huh.
So, you see, at the moment, the situation, I don't want to defend the politicians, but they're overwhelmed. Like everyone is overwhelmed. I mean, musicians are overwhelmed. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to play. They don't know how to believe in any future for what they for themselves. And politicians are also overwhelmed by the pressure from the public, the media. They have to negotiate with other countries what to do next. They have a different other crisis to handle. I'm not defending them. I'm trying to explain something.
Yeah.
So,
last thing, let's see. I gave you my email address, which is james.udall@jsmradio.com. You can reach me on Facebook. My Facebook account name is just my name, James Udall. So find me on Facebook. And you're listening to JSMradio.com, and I appreciate you spending your time with me. All right, Hermlinville, I am out of time, and even though I really hustled this week, I still managed to go 4 minutes over, so I'll try a little bit harder next week to come in on time. But I really hope you had fun with me this afternoon, this evening. I hope you enjoyed the music, and if you were here for the first time, I really hope that you enjoyed hearing or learning a little bit about the story of the Swingin' Hermlins and their consecutive streak of nightly performances. Come back next week because we will have part 2 of our exclusive interview with band leader Andre Hermlin. We will have another exclusive interview with a member of the Swingin' Hermlins, and we will have the best of the week for the coming week. So a lot of good stuff on tap and coming. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you with a little number performed by clarinetist from the Swingin' Hermlins, James Scannell, otherwise known as the Duke of Clarinet. It's a little number called Ain't Misbehavin'. This one is available on YouTube, so you could find it and check it out yourself. So really nice piece. And until next week, I think you know what to say, and we'll do it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Keep swinging!
no sense.